Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us at Cocktails and Chit Chat, the last cocktail and chit chat of the season. So cheers.
Cheers.
Have the Empress cocktail. Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Selina Ricci. I'm the director of ARS MINERVA. So tonight, Cocktails and Chit Chat session is dedicated to Carlo Pallavicino opera Messalina that he wrote in 1676.
Oh.
Yes, 76. And we will do this opera in November 2021. So if you're not familiar with ARS MINERVA, our main mission is to bring back to life forgotten operas. And so far we have brought back to life 5 operas. Tonight, I'll be joined by great artists and many returning artists. So here with us is Jory Vinikour, harpsichordist and conductor, and who will conduct Messalina in 2021. And Aurélie Veruni, who is Messalina. Hello, Aurélie. Thank you both for being with us tonight. And also Patrick Hagen. Hello, Patrick. Thank you for being with us.
Hi, everybody.
Deborah Rosengaus. Hello, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Thank you for being with us. And also Kindra Scharich. Hi, Kindra. Thank you for being with us tonight. So again, I'm really happy that you are joining this last session of Cocktails and Chit Chat. 2020 has been a difficult year for everyone, and I'm happy that ARS MINERVA is still alive, and I'm really grateful to all the artists that are participating to all those Cocktails and Chit Chat, and I'm also grateful to our audience for your support, and also, of course, all the foundation who support us during this difficult time. So let's now get into our topic with Messalina. So Messalina is actually the second opera of Carlo Pallavicino that ARS MINERVA is doing, and this is also something that I am very proud about, and let me share here with you. Here we go. Messalina, the beautiful Messalina, and here you see a poster made by Entropy, and of course it's our Aurélie. Beautiful poster. Beautiful poster. So it's the second opera by Carlo Pallavicino that we bring back to life, and the third opera by librettist Maria Piccioli.
1679.
And sorry, it's actually 76. And the first, and it's a mistake. And actually, the Amazons in the Fortunate Isle was the first opera we recreated by Carlo Pallavicino. And if you in 2016, and oops, there is a problem with Zoom. Yeah. Sorry for that.
Pleasure of the life. Being live.
Yes, sorry. Oh, here we go. Sorry. And here, I'm also proud because here we have 2 returning artists with us, and Aurélie, who was here the queen of the Amazon, and Kindra here, who was also one of the Amazons. And there are also other pictures. Oops. And here is Kindra receiving arrows of love in her heart. And here we can see Aurélie and Kindra. So this was an opera by Carlo Pallavicino that we recreated in 2016. And it's going to be the third opera by librettist Francesco Maria Piccioli, and you can see the Amazons, Messalina, and Erginda, the 3 of them. And I have to say that I'm also proud because I think he's an amazing librettist. And those of you who were with us at Ermelinda last year could see how, I mean, yeah, the libretto is amazing. He has a very special humor. You think it's kind of crazy, but actually it's very well tied together. And I would love this librettist to be more famous. So I'm really happy that it's the third opera that we bring back to life from him. And I know that in the audience there is Joe McClinton, who is our translator. So Joe, thank you so much for translating all those beautiful operas for us.
Thank you, indeed.
And so let's talk a little bit about Carlo Pallavicino, so the composer who lived from 1630 to 1688. And so he wrote more than 20 operas that were premiered in Venice and also Dresden, oratorios and sacred works. So here you can see some of them. And so you can see our Messalina, you can see the Amazzoni nelle Isole Fortunata. He wrote also another opera about Amazons, L'Amazzone Corsara. La Gerusalemme Liberata, which I've been told is a great opera. So who knows, maybe one day. Nerone, about Nero. He wrote also a Dido, Didone Delirante. So he worked in Dresden from 1666 to 1673. And then from 1674 to 1685, he worked at Ospedali degli Incurabili, which is like l'Ospedale della Pietà, another orphanage in Venice, where young girl would learn music. And then he died in Dresden. He couldn't go back to his position in Venice, unfortunately. And now let's talk a little bit about our heroine, if we can say so, Valeria Messalina. So, because the opera is based on her life, Valeria Messalina, who lived around, let's say, 50 before Jesus Christ. So she was the third wife of Emperor Claudius. And also she was a cousin of Nero and also of Caligula. And so it's said that as a child, she unfortunately, as it was very current at that time, she was raped by Caligula, and she was married to Emperor Claudio when she was, we don't know if it's when she was 13 years old or 15 years old, and he was 50 at the time. And by the age of 18, they had already 2 kids, among, so Britannicus, of course, and also Ottavia. So she had quite of a childhood, right? And so she's famous for her promiscuity and her scandalous life. But I see her a little bit also like a rebel, because I think because of all what she went through, you know, she also had her way to go forward as well. And so she's also known to go into the Roman pleasure district and have fun. And it said that she was naked, all covered in gold, with red lipstick, and also black around her eyes and a blonde wig. That reminds, if you remember our poster, it's the reason why we have made her blonde. She actually was in love then with someone who was closer to her age and who was a senator in Rome, Senator Gaius. And they married, actually, they had a pagan marriage that Claudius knew about, but he wasn't bothered about it. But actually Agrippina said to him, you know, Messalina plans to kill you. And so he killed Messalina and Caio as well. And Messalina was only 21 years old when she died. So this is the true story. And now we have also our story, right? And so here you can see the drawings that Entropy, who made the poster, was making before making the poster. We were talking about ideas. And so in this story, there is Messalina, and there is Caio, and there is also Claudius, Emperor Claudius, as in the real story. But there is also another character called Erginda, so a noble lady of Syria, and she has been deserted by her fiancé, Tergisto, and so she disguised herself as a young man named Alindo, and she's in Rome to track Tergisto. And then we have Floralba, who is actually Erginda's sister, and she's married to Claudia's advisor, Tullio. And there is also an assistant of Messalina, Lismeno. So these are our characters, and our story of Messalina is a lot of adultery, kidnapping, disguising. We have one male character who will disguise himself as a woman in Roman bath to be incognito, to be able to pursue his wife because he has suspicions about her. So it's in this how to say, decadent atmosphere that all our characters are going to evolve. Of course, I don't want to say a lot because I want you to come next November at Odyssey Theatre. So right now I'm going to let Jory, our conductor, to talk a little bit about the score here.
So some very, very few words, and good evening, everybody. So we're looking at this interesting period in Italian music. I always find this kind of inter-period music between Monteverdi, so the earliest outpourings of great Italian opera, and then the height of Italian opera, Handel and others. And I think of these composers a little bit better known than Pallavicino, or even our Domenico Freschi, who composed Ermelinda, which we performed last year. But I think of composers such as Cavalli and Cesti, where we still perform some of their works frequently, or a little bit later. I'm thinking of Alessandro Scarlatti. So what we see here with Messalina is a wonderful and very terse, in other words, very efficient succession of recitatives, which are kept to something of a minimum. In other words, the recitatives drive the story forward between all of these mistaken identities. And here, Celine permits me to say, although of course we're talking about a famously adulterous and scandalous character, the opera is not explicit. You could bring your children and they probably won't understand everything. But the story of all of these mistaken identities is pushed forward in very short ariosos, many of which we're going to hear tonight, if I'm not mistaken. And you'll notice that if Pallavicino does have the occasional great melodic inspiration, we also find him, even tonight, recycling his own melodies and using these to express different emotions and different situations in the characters.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and here,
so we see here the manuscript page, not prepared, I think, by Pallavicino himself, but by the copyist for the Venice Festival, actually quite beautifully done in this case. So we see the overture, and this overture, very, very lovely, is in 3 parts, if I'm not mistaken, a kind of noble overture movement, a quick movement, and then what I find rather interesting and original, the last part of the overture, and Celine, can we go forward, in this 3/4 time, is just an introduction to the first aria, which is sung by Messalina, of course. And that's a kind of a wonderful thing, a little bit of an innovation. We can imagine the curtain going up on this last piece of the overture, Messalina in her room, and there we are.
And also here is the modern score.
And this is done by my dear Philippe Leroy, who spent a very good month during our shutdown, a month and then some, transcribing the entire opera into a very usable and accessible modern notation. Although the manuscript is beautiful, there are, alas, hundreds upon hundreds of errors as we go through the pages. And so Philippe has put this into beautiful notation and something that we really will be using, I hope, for many, many years, forever.
Exactly. Thank you so much. And so here I would like to give the possibility to our Empress and to Senator Gaius to talk to us about this first extract.
So I will go ahead, Patrick, if you mind.
Go for it.
Messalina. Messalina, the role that I will be playing next year, is a very, very interesting one. She, at this moment, I will be about to sing this aria, and I am at this evening party. I am here with my lover. I am married to Claudio. He's 47 years old, pretty old.
That's young.
But Caio is much younger. And I will use, I'm very, very, very famous for my very liberated sexual behavior, but also very famous for my intrigues at the court. In the real life, she was very famous for instigating murderous court intrigues, but in this opera, not so much. So indeed, you kids could come and they would all be fine.
We think.
Yes.
You don't know the staging, so who knows?
Right, you don't know the staging. So I'm here at this evening party with my lover, Caio. And this aria is pretty much setting the tone of one of Messalina's huge personality, a huge part of her personality, because indeed she has an inclination for erotic pleasures. Again, one might expect that from an empress, you would be noble and contained and proper, but not at all. Messalina is very much free, which you could compare to men at that time. It would be okay for them to be free, but not for women. But in this case,
she's very modern.
She's modern.
Messalina is extremely modern, very free, has a huge sexual appetite and a reputation of going at night to those evening parties. And here I am talking to my lover and expressing him how much I am longing for him, and how much and I don't want him to go away, and otherwise I would die on the spot. And I'm just like expressing my love for my lover.
Yeah. So Senator Caio, what do you say?
Yeah, so as Aurélie said, these two lovers are kind of brazenly at this dinner party together, and the imagery is that they are just fawning over each other, and it is just a snapshot of this intense emotional, romantic, sexual relationship that these two characters have. As Céline mentioned earlier, Senator Gaius was only 34, 35 years old when he died, so he was significantly closer in age to Messalina. And the way it's painted in this first scene is that, you know, Messalina has this moment where she just gives him a taste of her attention, and he is just like, I am yours. If please don't leave me for a second, or I would die too. And it sets the kind of power dynamic that Messalina wields in this world. It's an awesome scene, and there's some beautiful music in it.
Thank you. So let's.
Hello.
Ti
dolcemente così viene rapira che resta dal piacer instupidita. Non partite, non partite, non dal sen, gioie mie care, no, 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 non partite dal sen, gioie mie care, care, care. Con balsamo d'amor puoi sanare nel cor le pene in mare, le pene in mare. Non partite, non partite, non nel sen, gioie mie care, no, 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 non partite dal sen, gioie mie care, care, care.
Woohoo! Yeah, so here are the lovers. So we have a very suspicious emperor following here, and he tries to understand. And so here we are with Emperor Claudius, Deborah.
Hello.
Oh, look at her.
It's fun to play powerful men. He's a very, very jealous man, and I think in his heart of hearts he knows that Messalina is fooling around on him. But it's not like he's being a saint himself. So in this aria, this is about as romantic as he gets, and it's because Messalina is also very clever. And so he starts mouthing off at her, and she flips the script on him and makes him look like the bad guy for stalking her, right? And like, so this is this aria is him trying to appease his cheating wife, telling her, you know, my dearest, and don't be upset, you know. So and it's a beautiful music as well. So I'll keep it short and sweet.
So on this is what Messalina replies to him, to this beautiful singing. What does she says to him?
So in this one, Quando non sarai geloso, I'm very straightforward. And like she said previously, I will again flip the screen on him, which I will do a lot in this opera. It's great. And I'll tell him that as soon as he will stop being jealous, I love him way more. which is
Poor Claudio gets us an Agrippina of Handel.
So.
Quando non sarà il gelato, quanto più t'adorerò, quanto più t'adorerò. Se non lasci le follie che tu vuoi gelosi, il mio cuore amor, no, 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 il mio cuore amor, no. Quando non sarà girato, quanto più t'adorerò, quanto più t'adorerò, quanto più t'adorerò.
So yeah, Messalina, she's very strong.
yes, indeed.
And here, so Kevin Gino is not with us tonight, so he's playing the part of Tullio. So Tullio, to me, is kind of maybe the bad guy. I mean, he's a little bit ridiculous at the same time. So he's very actually doesn't like women. He really doesn't like women. And he gets very obsessed with fidelity, and he's like following Messalina and also his own wife, Floralba, that he's really not nice with her, with his own wife. And in this scene, he actually he sees that Claudio, he's Claudio's best friend and advisor. He sees that Messalina, he is like lying to Claudio, and that Claudio either forgives her, either he doesn't see. And so he's saying, he knows, he has a plan. He wants to show Claudio that Messalina is actually unfaithful. And in this aria, he speaks about how women there is no faith in women's hearts, and that they are, the waves of the sea are actually more constant compared to that.
Non ti fidar di donna, non ti fidar di donna, forse non puoi piangere, forse non puoi piangere, e orvando con un piano ogni avetto in poi voglio tradire l'anime più costanti ancor sanno non ti fidar di donna, non ti fidar di donna, io forse non vuoi piangere, io forse non vuoi piangere, se non vuoi piangere.
And also now we have actually here a new character. No. Sorry for that. Nope. Nope. No. So, yeah, this is the Zoom. No.
Nope.
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 Oh.
Are we missing Kindra?
We are missing one character here. Huh.
Uh-oh. Oh dear. Yeah.
No, but no. So let's go back for now. So Messalina, this is, you have more pleasure for us in this scene.
Absolutely. In this scene, Act 2, I am here waiting for my lover to come. I have previously told Floraba, who's downstairs, to warn me if my husband is coming by just singing. And then I'll know he's coming and I'll stop, obviously, the affair on the spot. But right now I'm very peaceful, waiting for my lover to arrive. And I can sense the joy entering my whole body.
Right.
Giunge a portare ristoro alle mie bene amanti, qui vi m'affetto non verranno istanti. Vicino e contento mio cuore ti sento gioire, mio cuore ti sento gioire. Ride e scherza anima mia, così sia consolato il tuo desiderio. Ride e scherza anima mia, così sia consolato il tuo desiderio. Mio cuore ti sento gioire, mio cuore ti sento gioire.
And here we go to, so actually, apparently, Emperor Claudio, during the opera, changes his mind, Deborah. You're muted, Deborah.
You are muted, dear.
You think I would have learned by now, huh? There's a whole lot of crazy stuff that happens between the first aria and this one. And I won't go into details because it's the kind of madness you have to see to believe. But he's at this point, he's just decided that he hates it all. It's all awful. And why shouldn't he just live to have a good time, really? And so that's sort of the feel of this aria. And of course, we know how it all ends in real life. So this is
comb over.
This is the happy version of the Emperor.
Poder io voglio
for Claudio. And now,
hopefully.
So here there is a senator who starts thinking how things will go. So, Senator.
Yeah, so very similar to what Deborah just said. Caio is seeing these like Mozartian antics happening around him and all these machinations, and is doesn't think it's going to go very well. So this is starting to see the kind of mask slip and see Caio, some of Caio's concerns, but as the romantic that he is, he kind of paints it in the way of being like, if love can't make this whole thing work, force is going to make this even worse. So all of these people that are dangling their puppet strings and trying to make this situation happen, it's not going to end well for anybody.
Gran sconcerti pavento, l'odio è spezzato e Messalina offesa, e perso ti m'impreso una forza reale, ma dove amor non può, forza non vale. Con femmina dirata la perderà ogni cor, la perderà, la perderà, la perderà ogni cor. Con femmina dirata la perderà ogni cor, la perderà ogni cor. Preghiera lusinghiera, la feta sua non forza, ne puoi giova la forza, dove non giunge amor, dove non giunge amor. Con femmina dirata la perderà ogni cor, la perderà, la perderà, la perderà ogni cor. Con femmina dirata la perderà ogni cor, la perderà ogni cor.
And now, so sorry for the delay, but here we have a new character. So who is Erginda or Alindo by Kindra. And Kindra, so I don't know what happened with the slides, but so I think this is your second aria, but can you tell us more about your character and about your two arias?
Yes, I don't know. I think this is the second aria as well. So I don't know if the first one is going to come or not. But the but this is the second one. So I'm Erginda. I'm a lady, a noble lady from Syria who's been jilted or abandoned by her beloved Ergisto, who has gone off to Rome. And so it's determined woman as I am, I decide to pack up to go incognito as a man from Syria, travel to Rome to try to set him straight in his ways and have him come back to me. So, and I think it's hilarious because when I arrive in Rome, I run into my sister, the story Floralba. It never says how Floralba got from Syria to Rome. I just think it's just a funny kind of twist of these kind of funny things, funny plot twists. But anyway, in this second aria, so throughout the whole opera, let me back up. Throughout the whole opera, I'm kind of plotting. My main goal is how to get, Tergisto. I think I said Ergisto. I think I combined our names. Tergisto back. How to get my beloved back. And I have a laser focus on that. And so in this aria, I have kind of helped him along. He's been running, he's out of breath, he practically fell off a cliff, and he decides to take a rest in the forest. And of course, I'm dressed as a man, and I'm kind of asking him before this aria, you know, well, maybe you have some fear. What's this thing? Why? What is it that's following you in your life that made you, you know, jump off a cliff? Maybe you've done something bad. Maybe you, and he doesn't say anything. He tries to disguise the fact that he completely, you know, abandoned this woman and took off for Rome, abandoned me and took off for Rome, but he doesn't know it's me. And so anyway, he goes down to take a rest, and I say, okay, now's my moment. I'm gonna make him see the errors of his ways. So I'm going to take these rocks and leaves, and I'll put my name in, I'll put the name of Ergista. Am I right about this?
Erginda.
Erginda and Tergisto, sorry. Oh, Erginda, I'll put my name Erginda in the rocks and the with the leaves and the rocks, so that when he wakes up, he'll see my name Erginda, and then he will start to be remorseful about his actions. That's this aria. So
yeah, thank you.
Cosa Tergisto, Erginda, all'amatore infido, con tacita favella, e tempo ormai rimproverrar reso. Sì, con toglieranno i vesti del suo Erginda il nome, onde riscosso poi almen Carlo ravegga i fali suoi. Lieto ne vor, che dal mar del dolor sei giunto in fondo, sei giunto in l'amante più ferì, appresterà sì, appresterà sì, c'è conforto, lieto mio cor, lieto mio cor, che dal mar del dolor sei giunto in porto, sei giunto in
Kindra. And also something that I find very interesting about Erginda Alindo, because she goes under the name of Alindo, is that she, Messalina fancies him, right? Because she thinks that he's a man, right? And so we have also those crazy, amazing moments where Messalina actually and Alindo are actually in a kind of a strange zone, right? And now we go here into our next moment, And this is towards the end of the opera. And we have again back Tullio. And Tullio, this aria is crazy because after all the tortures he did to his wife, then towards the end of the opera, he actually asked her to forgive him. And so it's, so forgive him, right? So let's see how this goes.
Questo cuore del suo errore è pentito, cara, sì, è pentito, cara, sì, adoro innocente, già l'alma si pente di basta così, già l'alma si pente di basta così. Questo cuore del suo errore è pentito, cara, sì, è pentito, cara, sì.